Naftitari 1. And a queen's pawn game, and he plays it with f3. Yes, this can be very dangerous for black. What I want to do now is to directly attack the center. I don't want, you know, him to crush me. He was e4 later on. Let's put even more pressure on d4. I would be quite happy to exchange this bishop for the knight. Okay, let's play it safe, protecting d5 and just to develop here. So maybe I play a6 also. Okay. So here I like to take with the pawn, because I will get rid of my double pawn here anyway, because I take here on d4. This is surprising, because why didn't he just take here on c5? My bishop is very good, and his knight is not that good here on a4, so now I will just take. So, and now I threaten c5. Yeah, his pieces, his knights, are not very well placed. I can take here with my knight, with my bishop, and this is already very good for me, I think. Yeah, let's do this. I mean, then I'm virtually a pawn up, because these two pawns against this pawn are worth the same. So we have the open b file. Yeah, let's double up. And this knight doesn't have that many good squares. He has a bad pawn on e3 also. So yeah, I'm really happy with the position here. So let's double up the rooks. Okay, now we have the b file under control. What I can try is queen c6 to force him to play a5 and then enter here on the white squares. c4 is also a very nice square for all my pieces. A knight would be very good here on c4, but the queen as well. Yeah, I think I will reroute now, and let's attack it, and maybe rook b1 first. Okay, he wants to take on f6, and then he takes here with a knight. Is it that bad if I play c4? He has a beautiful outpost then on d4, but I can just take here. So now both pawns are hanging. And a3 is history as well. Okay. Maybe he hopes that I take with the queen and then he can fork my pieces, but well, I just take here with the rook. And then I want to make Okay, let's improve the position of my king. Now he gives me the square e4 for free. This is also very nice. What about knight c3? He cannot take one of the pieces here because there's always a back rank mate. But does knight c3 really help me? He needs to move back. Knight b5 maybe? I mean, he cannot. Maybe I can also try to just move forward my pawn here. Yeah, let's do this. Exchange everything, and then move forward the pawn. He cannot stop it. Can just play a knight b5 and then sacrifice the knight against the pawn, but this is a hopeless endgame. So now the only problem is the time. So let's do some pre-moves. And here we are good with the knight. And then we play f6 and e5. Or e5 directly. Very nice. Okay. Let's take a look at the game. I think the real problem of White's position was knight on a4. So where was it? Like here. He started to play knight a4, and he didn't take on c5, and I wonder why. Because in return for the knight, he would have received the very strong bishop here on e7, because this bishop protects all the dark squares. But what White did is he just helped me to improve my pieces, and here he has a problem that this double pawn is worth as much as one pawn here. So if you count the pawns, okay, we have both 7 pawns, but it's very easy for me now to get one of these pawns, and in the end game, if you imagine that there are no pieces left except the pawns and the king, yeah, I have virtually one extra pawn, and I can push one of these pawns here in the center. So the d5 pawn is the extra pawn, and I can try to promote this pawn and support it with the other pawns. So in this position, my aim was just to yeah, exchange pieces, to decrease the number of pieces and the counterplay of white. Yeah, and focus on the weaknesses on the b file and also on these double pawns. So yeah, double pawns are sometimes really an issue, and yeah, kind of useless.